TV Crazy Man here. In this Star Trek The Next Generation video, I present to you amazing goofs that made it to the final cut that you may not believe. Like aliens losing their hair while fighting Picard, a man from the 20th century roaming the halls of the Enterprise, and fun trivia like the actual origin of Spock's nerve pinch that you may never have heard anywhere before. And stick around until the end for some crazy fun bloopers. In the episode Tapestry, Picard is dying and he finds himself in limbo with Q, who brings up an old fight with these guys that changed Picard's life forever. It's a serious episode, but if you look really closely, you can see one of the aliens is losing his hair in the fight sequence. Yes, young Picard could really pack a punch. So hard, in fact, it could knock a guy's hair clean off of his head. In the episode Power Play, Worf is on the move, and he almost runs into somebody in the hall that really looks like he just came out of the early 90s. Surely not, though, right? I don't know, I'd kind of think that he looks like he came off of Miami Vice, but that show is already canceled by now. On the episode Unification Part 2, guest starring Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, there's a neat goof that I have heard has been erased on the latest Blu-ray version of this episode. See the mysterious man's face in the crystal? Pretty neat, huh? Also, while I'm on the subject, I recently came across an old TV episode of Death Valley Days that I think may have subconsciously influenced Nimoy when he came up with the Vulcan nerve pinch.
You better be out of this territory by morning. I'll break your neck.
The episode was entitled The Shivery and came out in 1953, more than a decade before Spock did it on Star Trek. It wasn't as instantaneous as Spock's Vulcan nerve pinch, but it does seem very Vulcan-like. Part of Nimoy's reasoning, I believe, was that he wanted a less violent means of dispatching of his enemies, which also sort of coincides with the thoughts of this unusual fellow from Death Valley Days.
Only animals display their feelings by physical violence.
Fascinating.
In the episode Who Watches the Watchers, Captain Picard is threatened by a guy with an arrow, but the arrow tip appears to be too blunt to be of any real danger to him. I guess it must be set to stun. But then the incredibly dull arrow manages to pierce Picard's skin. That would really hurt. But don't worry, he's fine later. Also in this episode, a doctor dies. Notice the location of her hand. Actors have to breathe, of course, even when they're playing dead, but in this case you can see the actress's hand going up and down as she breathes. Of course, at this time a lot of TV screens were still curved, so it may not have been visible to everyone, but some screens were square, especially those old big screen TVs that came out back then. You know, the ones that used to weigh a ton and were almost as thick as they were long. Yeah, good luck hanging one of those on the wall. On the episode Booby Trap, Geordi is on a holodeck date that he programmed to impress this girl, but he forgot one detail. The violin player's bow doesn't touch the violin while he's playing.
See if you can come up with any clue that might explain this.
Knock it off.
On the episode The Enemy, Welsey Crusher appears to be at two places at the same time. First we see Wesley at his position on the bridge. Then he leaves to set up a probe.
Make it so.
Then this guy takes his place that you can barely see. But then it appears that Welsey Crusher is back in his seat. Or this could be Wesley's doppelganger.
Apologies.
Then later, finally, he comes back, having gotten the probe ready.
Well done, Ensign. Mr. Worf.
Was there a Wesley clone on board the Enterprise at this time? Or someone that just looked an awfully lot like him?
Uh-oh.
On the episode The Price, Deanna Troi is having dinner with a man. Apparently some food is invisible in the future, or this man eats in really small bites. Really, really, really small bites. On the episode The Defector,
Freeze program.
I just wonder why when Data freezes the holodeck program, why does the fire keep flickering? This isn't the only episode this occurs, so maybe it's just a thing. But of course that wouldn't explain why the spear is wobbling around. The episode Deja Q features one of my favorite characters, Q. In this episode, I have to wonder if Worf is truly appalled by Q's antics, or is the actor playing him, Michael Dorn, simply trying to hide the fact that he can't keep a straight face during all this. Now, I read on a trivia note on IMDb that the entire cast was having a hard time trying to keep it serious during this scene. And who can blame them, right? Also, in this episode, there's a small mystery. It appears that some tiny piece of the ship has fallen to the ground. One can only hope that this doesn't do something important that they'll need later on. The episode Hollow Pursuits features another favorite of mine, Barclay, played by A-Team's Dwight Schultz. You know, being a member of the A-Team, I can't believe this is true, but they did use a stuntman in his place for the swordplay shots in this episode. And it's pretty noticeable. I wonder what Star Trek would have been like if Mr. T had joined the cast. That'd been pretty awesome.
I'm very disappointed in you.
We're gonna crash! We're gonna...
Oh wait, that's right. BA was afraid of getting on airplanes, so there's no way in the world that he'd get on a starship in the middle of outer space.
We're gonna crash! We're gonna crash!
In the episode, Future Imperfect, now you see Dr. Crusher's badge, then you don't, and now it's back again. Probably there the whole time, but her jacket kept wanting to cover it up. On the episode Final Mission, Picard and Wesley are in the middle of nowhere.
Find water? No, not yet.
Desperately seeking water or some sign of life in which to follow. You know, like maybe tire tracks? Of course, there's no need to follow tracks when you have one of Wesley's gadgets to lead the way. Okay, to round out this video, up next are some Goofs and bloopers that I previously posted on my last 1990s Goose video. So please enjoy. Have you ever played Find the Stuntman?
Wesley! Yeah.
I think I found one. That's totally not Data. Of course, maybe Data has a special action mode where his facial features change just a little bit. You know, and you can usually tell too when an actor decides to do their own stunts.
Cut, please. Wow.
At least we're acquainted with the judge, Captain.
You know, I didn't know that Boy George was on Star Trek.
You are out of order!
Found him. Just kidding. That there is your stuntman or stunt woman. I'm not sure, because, you know, sometimes stuntmen dress up like stunt women in order to look like women so that they can, oh, I don't know.
Engage. No, don't engage. Energize. That's what we say in this room. Energize.
Sorry, Captain. Number one. I guess I got sidetracked a little bit. Hey, I think I found another duplicate Data. Or is it Data?
The product continues to upgrade and improve.
Detected some sort of loose
You know, I think he really could use a stuntman. That fall was not graceful at all.
The question becomes, how? No, it doesn't. The question becomes, why?
You know, sometimes you need a stuntman just to go through a door. Well, was it something I said?
Step out.
You know, he really should get a stuntman.
What are you talking about?
No brain as we know it, yet evidence of thought, Mr. Data?
Insufficient information, sir.
Well, you don't have to be that way about it. I'm just doing my job here.
I'm on my way.
I told you he needed a stuntman. You know, I think he missed. What do y'all think? And Worf, of course, it was still superb acting.
Nice suit.
It looks like Riker and Worf are standing right next to the door. So where did they go all of a sudden?
Is there a problem?
No, I'm just curious.
Then why are you acting so excited?
I don't think he's ever going to give up doing his own stunts. Well, at least he's determined.
Oh, no!
Well, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, no! Oh, I wasn't looking. It's all over you.
Wow, that's some hot chocolate. It spreads and it spreads and it spreads. Pretty soon it'll be all over the Enterprise.
Backup crew, report to the main bridge.
You're going to separate?
Yes, and I want you to take the starship.
Well, Mr. LaForge.
Geordi, can you give it up?
You know what I really love about these guys is their professionalism.
To emit that tachyon ship beam, ship it down to the ship, and we'll ship it out of here. Here goes.
Hey, wait a minute. You guys are on the wrong ship. Interesting. They don't usually transport the dirt or what the person is standing on with the transportee.
Do not interfere with our transporter beam!
Did you know that whenever someone from the Enterprise leaves a planet, they send a cleanup team to put things in order before they can go? Thanks so much for sticking around until the end. Please hit the like and voice your opinions in the comments below. It's a lot of fun reading your thoughts and comments. I greatly appreciate the fact that so many of y'all take the time to comment in this busy world we live in. Thanks to everyone that has subscribed already. I hope y'all have a great day.
Steady as she goes.
Take us out of here.